Bennett Field, home of Super League Baseball, Adelaide. It is, believe it or not, the final round of Super League Baseball. All of the rain, all of the chaos, on both Saturdays and Wednesdays. We have a double dip tonight to determine who will be in the grand final, and that will be that. Eric Ballnar joined by the GM of the Rays, Chris Lawson, and the GM of the Seahawks, Scott Pratt. Fellas, we'll run through the equation in a second. I think Pratty's going to run us through all the math. But yeah, final week of Super League, just like that.
Just like that, and that's the whole thing. It's get ready at the start of the season, come out, clear out the cobwebs, and play some ball here at West Beach.
Here is the equation for tonight. The Seahawks and the Rays will play the first game of the doubleheader. The Marlins are in first place, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. Seahawks in second, 1 win, no losses, 1 draw. And the Rays in third at 1 win and 2 losses. If the Rays win, they are effectively in the grand final. It's as simple as that. And then the Marlins and the Seahawks, the game later on today, that will determine who goes and plays the Rays in the grand final. If the Rays lose, they cannot mathematically catch the Seahawks or the Marlins, and that will be the grand final for this year. And we'll effectively have a dead rubber in game number 2. We'll worry about that as we come. Seahawks representing the South, the Rays representing the west of Adelaide, the all-star competition, if you will. So it's a big game for the Rays. Have to win.
It's a massive game, you're right. But that's what you won the last game of the season to be, right? Comes down to the wire. Rays win and we're through to the GF, and we've got a good chance as one of the 2 teams out there today to get across the line.
So if the Seahawks win,
they're in.
We're into the GF.
Yeah, that's all you got to worry about.
So win this game and we're in the GF.
These are 90 minutes games, so make note that the first pitch will come at about 6:05 p.m. We've got 90 minutes to get this game off. On the mound is Aiden Prokopek, the 19-year-old from Sturt, the rookie in the South Australian baseball competition. And leading off the inning for the Rays is Jack Partington. I love it. You can hear the players and the umpires right now.
Who's mic'd up down there?
Yeah, it was Pardo having a chat with the home plate
players
umpire.
mic'd up.
Pardo, let's go.
I love it. Is that coming through on the stream? That's cool. All right. Well, Jack Partington's first pitch swing, and the Adelaide Giant, who hit a home run on the weekend, Jack Partington, he's on base, and this guy can steal bases, so watch him. Here's the lineup: Partington, Tracy, Garbella, Yonezawa, Clavel, Clark, Jansen, Scott, and Smith. Around the field, left to right, Bushel at third, Paparella at short, Altamira at second, Batchelor at first, Heaps at second, Ashby at left field, Drew Davies at center field, and Kerry McLeod at right field. Max Tracy now to bat with Jack Partington, who hit that home run, Smokey, on first base.
He did. How good was that, though? Like, he's making the most of opportunities, right? And that's what you want to see with these young kids when they get their chance. He was on the bench for the first 3 games of that series, comes in and goes yard and sort of makes a name for himself and backs it up on the roster again this week, which is great.
And you just never know, right? You saw Liam Bold do the same thing when his opportunity. He got the start with an injury to Nico Pawaka-Grego.
He was really good at third base too. Some of the plays he was making there were ABL quality level plays. His defense plays at the ABL definitely, and offensively, you're right, he went yard too.
Game-winning home run. So it's great to see some locals making some contributions at the top level. They didn't get a lot of hits, but I think it was when they got their hits that matter, right? Jack Partington is going. He's going to slide in there. Or he doesn't even need to slide. He just ducks under there. And now Jack Partington, on an errant throw from Brody Heaps, is now standing at third base. That's the kind of speed that Jack Partington brings to the table. He hasn't had a single or a walk yet at the ABL level. He's 1 for 10 with that home run. We're waiting for him to get on base to steal some of those bases.
I'd love to. I want to see those matchups because he does have. He's got that speed that plays every day, and against the good quality catches of the ABL level with those good pop times, and the quick to the plate from the pitchers as well. Just to see if that speed translates at the next level, which I reckon it will. He's pretty quick.
Yeah, and he had a home run that tied the game at 3 at the time, so no one's complaining about that either. Straightaway center field, too.
he was telling me about it before. Batter's eye. Off the batter's eye.
Off the batter's eye we'll just leave it. That's the end of the story.
I was just teasing him. I was like, did it just poke out? Or what did you do? He's like, nope, off the batter's eye.
We're not going to talk about the wind, you know?
No.
No, but that was cool. There was 12 home runs hit in that game, but not by a lot of different players, right? One player had 3, another player had 3, and Max Tracy swings and misses at that. Runner still on third. So he's just looking for a pop fly right here.
Or infield back too, on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground you're probably running if you're Jack Partington.
100%.
So let's see what Max Tracy, the not import, but kind of import from Adelaide. He crunches one to center field. Drew Davies ranging back. It falls over his head. Jack Partington will just jog into home, and Max Tracy will stand up with an RBI double to open up the game. It's 1-0.
And I think that was a mistake there by Procco, getting that ball up in the zone with 2 strikes on the hitter. Just sort of allowed him to get on top of the ball, and he crushed that one, Tracy.
Yeah, really important at this point in time for him to settle down. Young fella coming on the mound, and you just faced 2 quality batters here, and now you're coming in number 3. So it's really pressure comes onto you, and it comes on quick, and that's now going to test young Aiden, see how he reacts to this.
And a first pitch swing from Giovanni Garbella. That finds a gap, and will split between the two. Max Tracy getting the wave around at home. The throw to second, he would have been dead in the water. He slides in safe. It's going to go down as an RBI for Giovanni Garbella, the RBI machine this year in the competition.
Runners in scoring position, he drives them in, right? I would love to know what his batting average is with runners in scoring position.
Well, that was straight in the gap. That was centimetre perfect, that one.
I mean, this is his 7th RBI just in Super League alone, and he's having a good year for the first place Henley and Grange Rams as the import. Koki Yanazawa, another player from Henley and Grange. He's having another big season at the Division I level. He has settled in as a regular starter. No ifs, ands, and buts about it for a first-place club in local club ball scene. Aiden Prokopek delivers the pitch. That goes up high. Pitch count we will be watching because it's 30 pitches is the maximum that you can throw. Or is it 40 on a doubleheader day?
30.
30 on a doubleheader day.
Yep.
Let's ask Yang.
He'd be watching.
Here's the pitch. This goes outside. It's a called strike.
Yeah, nice pitch, that one. Just running away from the left-handed hitter.
Gets him on the board. It's a 1-1 count. So 2-0 game right now. Bit down low. Aiden Prokopek, son of the former big leaguer Luke Prokopek. This is his first year playing at the Division I level regularly. Aiden Prokopek, he's hit a home run with the bat. He's got a couple quality appearances out there with Sturt on the mound. Looks like his old man too. And a hard hit ball right to second, and that should double them up. He dropped the ball, and he's safe anyways. So Giovanni Garbella will be out at second. Koki Yanazawa lines to fourth, and that's kind of a uh-oh play when you see that as a base runner on second.
Yeah, you're caught in no man's land, aren't you? I guess you close your eyes and you pray that that's getting past or getting dropped, but...
Yeah, you do. Or the old equation is freeze on line drive and make sure it gets through the infield before you get going. I think that's just...
bad base running.
Yeah.
Brings up Mason Clavel, and Clavel pops one down to the left side. That runs foul.
And that's a massive break for Prokopek right there in this inning. You know,
Massive.
Hit it on a line too at the second baseman to get 2 outs out of it.
Well, there's been 4 hard hit balls right straight away, so he'd be glad to get out of that jam like that.
Comes back with a strike, brings the count to 0-2.
Yep.
So Mason Clavel, the veteran player now at Glen Elk Baseball Club. Brody Heaps. Catcher at Goodwood this year. He's kind of been thrust in that position after a couple departures to regular catchers at the club. How's Brody going over at Goodwood?
Yeah, look, he's doing well behind the dish. He's still learning. He's got a lot to learn, and but working really hard. And he's a sort of player in our club that has done a lot of stuff, played a lot of positions. Started off in junior tournament stuff, charter stuff as a infielder, then outfielder for Goodwood in Div 1, Rookie of the Year in Div 1, and he's the sort of player that will do whatever needs to be done to help the team win.
2-2 count, nobody out. Mason Clavel at the plate. Yeah, what deal with the devil has Goodwood made? How many 1-run wins has Goodwood eked out this year? At the death in the 9th inning, the 10th inning, coming back. Ben Wigmore's the guy that's driving most of them in.
Walk-off Wigmore, they call him. And let's not talk too much about it, Eric. Let's just keep it rolling quietly.
Let's keep it rolling.
The sun's shining. It's a beautiful day down here at West Beach, isn't it?
Deal with the devil. What's the deal? The deal is that you get to win a 1-run ball games in the regular season, but then you get to the grand final.
Oh, that hurts. 2 teams have got to get there, don't forget. 2
teams do have to get there. Only one can win.
That's all right. Guess it might be some payback for losing some players.
Might be. Mason Clavel fouling a couple away to stay alive. That ball in the dirt doesn't matter anyways. It will be a walk from Prokopek, so his pitch count will be running up.
Yeah, yep, certainly is. Yeah, just tried to overdo it on that one by the look of it. Just missed by a mile. And I guess that's the pressure that comes out here, right?
Brings to the plate Jasper Clark. He was, speaking of the West Torrens Goodwood Grand Final, Jasper Clark was one of the starring players in that Grand Final. Made a couple game-changing plays with the bat, had a couple nice defensive plays. Mason Clavel over at first base. Think he steals Mason Clavel?
Yeah, no.
I want to
I
see
think he
it.
stays put.
I like seeing the sluggers try to steal base. On the Giants on the weekend, Rickson Wingrove stole second.
Nice.
Guess who stole one in Div 1?
Who?
Freddie.
Freddie.
Actually, it was Div 2. Freddie stole a bag.
He is nimble on the feet, Freddie, as that ball slips away, and it'll be Mason Clavel who can advance second. He's a good dancer, Freddie.
I was
He can
going to
move
say,
quick,
nimble
right?
on the dance floor or nimble on his feet?
He can, well, bit of both, maybe.
Yeah.
Was he dancing his way over to second?
He was pretty happy. He stole third.
He stole third.
Yeah.
Freddie, how about that? Ball flared over towards right field. Moving under it is Kerry McLeod. And he makes the play, and that will end the top half of the first inning. But 3 straight hits to start the inning. Partington, Tracy, and Garbella. And it is a 2-0 game just like that. So we'll get an opportunity now to take a look at how the Rays will bat in order. Or the Seahawks, sorry, will bat in order. Jack Bushel leading things off. Alex Ashby, the Northern District's import, batting 2. He's at a few home runs this year. Look out for him. Drew Davies batting 3. Just named the under-18 team, not 15 years old. Batting 4th is Matt Hutchings. Nick Paparella batting 5th. Craig Batchelor 6th. Brody Heaps 7th. Kerry McLeod from Southern Districts at 8th. And the young Zach Altamura from Sturt. And then around the diamond, Jacob Scott is at 3rd. Jansen at short from Woodville. He just had a walk-off the other day. Koki Yanazawa at 2nd. Giovanni Garbella at 1st. Brady Smith catching. Tracy, Partington, and Clark are your outfielders. And starting on the mound is Jared Large from West Torrens Baseball Club.
Yeah, Jared Large on the bump for the Rays today. See how he goes. His last couple of starts, I think 2 innings and 1 innings. He's that guy that's working it back on the Giants roster, trying to get that opportunity. You can see the stuff's there, and for him, it's just about getting the feel now and getting those innings under his belt and some of those donuts under his belt and finding that form. And hopefully tonight he's able to put up that donut and work his way into that Giants roster.
Yeah, definitely. And where's he originally from?
Perth.
Perth, yeah, that's right. Yep. So that's a handy pickup for Henley and Grange and
West Torrens.
West Torrens,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
and a handy pickup for the Marlins. So the Rays. How good, Tom? I'm going there. The blue and the blue. So a handy pickup. Smokey, you'd be pretty happy with that. It's a stacked lineup you're running out here tonight. I'm pretty impressed with what you're come back from some struggles, looking to get a win.
We are.
Get one on the board.
Yeah. Well, you knocked us off week 1 and we split with the Marlins in that second round, and now we need a win here to leapfrog one of the two of you and get into the GF. So.
Well, Jack Bushel will lead things off, and hasn't he been one of the stories of the season? He had a great campaign last year. He got the call-up in the middle of the Division I season, and he thrived. He hit over 300. He had some good games and at-bats. He won a couple player of the games in the Super League, and this year he's been pitching, he's been hitting, he's been a key cog in the middle of the Goodwood lineup. Large delivers the pitch. And that was the question for Goodwood. They had lost a few players and veterans in there. It said, hey, you've got the kids that look promising, but could they deliver when they don't have that same kind of lineup protection? And for Jack Bushel, the answer is, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, certainly. He has stepped up and done a great job. And there's some other kids around coming through as well. There's Billy Sutton coming through, and we'll roll out another young fella in Dylan House behind the dish at some stage tonight. So you just got to keep bringing them through. That's the whole idea, right?
Large with the pitch. That rides up.
Gee, he's got some pop.
You can see the stuff's there, right? He's got some stuff.
That's going to put some pressure on the Seahawks lineup right here. Haven't seen him. They wouldn't have seen him at all. So new to all hitters.
That under-18 state team for South Australia is going to look pretty dangerous, you'd think, with guys like Jack Bushel, Drew Davies, and the like in the lineup.
Well, I looked through it the other day, and it was riddled with Division 1 players.
Yeah.
Little. Like, I think...
Paparella on there? Or how-
yeah. Brady Smith, Jet Clohessy.
Yeah.
Like, you look through, and I know we had have had some good state teams, no doubt about it, and we've won it before. But that team looks one of the best I've seen.
And that's what you want to see, right? Like, it's hard to crack A grade as it
Yeah.
is, let alone having these 15, 16, 17-year-olds out there playing.
Yep.
They're getting better for it, and it shows the talent that's coming through the state.
That's right.
Alex Ashby will come up to bat.
And
It's been kind of in the past when South Australia looks at teams and they've been the one trying to navigate the Giants, trying to say, okay, we'll try to beat a minnow here, and then, maybe against New South Wales, we'll try to bench some players maybe and save our best for some other. That's kind of been the strategy. But now it looks like other teams are going to have to do that for South Australia because they're going to be very scared of that lineup.
Well, exactly. And if you underestimate a team full of these guys, you're going to be in trouble.
And that's what you want to do. A good team's going to throw their best guys against the best teams.
Yep.
You're not going to play that game. So it'll be interesting to see how they go out there. And Simsy's the coach of the 18s this year, is he?
Yeah.
How he manages that first round of the under-18 state tournament.
And this is a team last year, the under-18s, is Alex Ashby's up to bat, by the way. This is a team, remember, they made it to the preliminary final last year.
Yeah,
They were won a couple big games, and they were sitting as Alex Ashby has this ball hop, and it should be playable for Jansen over at short. 6-3 out, 1-2 down. But yeah, under that 18 state team, they were close last year. They lost a couple close games. They were in the ball game, especially in the preliminary final, until it got out of hand late. But you'd think there'd be a form of comeback coming from there, wouldn't you?
Well, what I see is that they're pretty deep in pitching as well. So they've got some depth throughout, which is great. As you know, throughout a week of baseball, you need that depth. And that makes a big difference. And when you look through, like I said, there's some players in there that are really stepping it up and are going to be very handy for when they go away. A lot of two-way guys as well. A lot of guys that can get out there and throw a couple of innings throughout the game. Makes a big difference.
Drew Davies now up to bat. He takes one in the dirt. Read out some of those names there for us, Pratty.
Ben Ganley, Brady Smith, Brody Chapman, Tom Ganley. Like, those four are like in ones and twos for Adelaide. Blake Peterson again, Connor Yateman, Gregor Bravaro, Billy
Gregor
Sutton.
Bravo, yeah, he's playing Div 1 right now at these Torrens.
Yep. I saw him in the 19s on the weekend. He's a handy player. Billy Sutton, Jake Bushell, Trent Challenor from Goodwood, Aidan Lucas from Kensington, Alistair Ali Tanner from Kensington, Lachlan Spratt, and Tyler Butwick from Kensington, Flynn McKee, Drew Davies, Nick Paparella from Southern District, Samson Garcia, Coda Viva, and
Jacob Matischuk and Coda Vivar, and the last three, Garcia, Matischuk, and Vivar, they would probably be on Division 1 teams on most teams in the competition, but Garcia's stuck in a stacked dirt lineup, same with Matischuk, and then Vivar at West Torrens.
Yep.
Those two, it's just hard to crack that lineup in Division 1. So every single player you have listed, except for those last. No, they've got some Division 1 games though, so every single one of those players has Division 1 experience.
Yep, definitely. And then look at the staff with Chris Sims, Austin Gallagher, and
Justin Clark.
I've got it though.
That team is looking very good.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch in January when it returns to its normal schedule. Drew Davies standing in at the plate right now. It's still a 2-2 count. He knocks. Oh, it's called strike. I love the mic there. You get the oh no as Davies is walking away. So we've played one inning. It's 2-0 Rays. We'll be back after this. You're watching Super League Baseball.
That's some cheese right there.
Hilltop Office Supplies are here to provide you with all your stationery, sanitary products and office equipment. We are a local business servicing local communities with the ability to offer you and your business the best prices. We offer a large range of office supplies from pens, ink cartridges and toner to monitors, keyboards and laptops. If you can't see it on our website or in our catalogue, ask us and we'll source it for you. We have a partnership with Kaishira Document Solutions where you will find many leasing options available for these state-of-the-art units and plenty to choose from whether you have 5 or 5,000 employees. We offer businesses a one-stop shop for all cleaning, kitchen and bathroom needs. Check out our website at www.hilltopofficesupplies.com.au. Register your business to stay on top of the latest sales and receive member specials. We are baseball people here to support the baseball community.
Aiden Prokopek still on the mound. He'll be running up against the pitch count. It's a 2-0 lead. 3 straight hits to start the game. Pardo, Tracy, and Garbella had doubles. 3 doubles to start the game.
Yeah, they did.
And that scored 2 runs.
And then a double to get him off.
And a double to get him off. Jansen steps up. Now, this young man had a pretty good game with Woodville the other week. He delivered the walk-off hit as a pinch hit scenario over at Woodville. And this is his Super League debut.
It is. He's the Woodville import this year.
As Jansen grounds one over towards short. Barehanded play by Paparella, who was charging on.
Wow, what a play.
And that is on the highlight reel. You can hear someone yell that on the field. Barehanded, baby. Boom.
Money.
It's all or nothing here, right? He's just got to give it a crack and see what happens. And the athlete in Nick Paparella coming in, making that play. Look at him scoop that up nicely. Gets that throw away.
Had to make the decision quickly, didn't he? First pitch swing by Jacob Scott. They're going after pitches early on Aiden Prokopek this afternoon, aren't they?
Yeah, look, the problem is for the Seahawks, they've got only X amount of pitches. We have only X amount of pitches. So you have to use them wisely. And everyone has to try to get through to their maximum amount of pitch counts so we can be competitive in at least both games.
Well, it's a bit of a disadvantage, you'd say, today to the Seahawks, who have to play 2 games.
Oh, I wouldn't really say that.
To an extent. 2 chances to win 1 game, though.
To an extent. But the pitching staff a bit more taxed than the other 2 clubs who
Over
only
the
have
course
5
of the
innings to
evening.
get to.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Do you go for this win? Do you go for the other win? What's your? Who do you throw? When do you throw them?
And I guess that changes depending how the game scenario goes, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
if
right.
you go down 5-0 early on, well, then you might save a few arms for game number 2 and say, you know what, let's just hope we can get ourselves back in game number 1.
And we talked about that. There's going to be various scenarios as we go throughout the night. Which way do we go? What's our direction? Who comes in at what point versus where we're going to go? So we're mindful of this, and ideally here we want to get through this innings pretty quickly. Proco gets us through in 2, and then we've got to come out and try and do something against Large. That's not easy. He's throwing some cheese right there, and it's going to be a challenge for us to get on top of him.
Jacob Scott right now, the batter. West Torrens product. He's a premiership player now, Jacob Scott. So that ball goes in up high. It's a full count. Handy year. You can be used in various roles for West Torrens. Up the lineup, down the bottom of the lineup, in the middle of it. He's been put in a few different positions over the course of his young career. And Scotty jams one away. He's on one of the teams that's on the Next Generation Giants that's playing a couple university teams from Japan this week.
Yeah, well, even as a junior, he came through the charters as the main pitcher for teams, and was the star of the Rays for many years, from Little League to Junior League, and really
high baseball IQ.
Very, very.
Well, that will be the end of Aiden Prokopek as Mark Haylock is walking out.
Bit of a discussion over where that pitch was.
I love the microphone down there right now. This is some good value. So we'll have a pitching change. I can't see who's running in from the bullpen. It won't be Fitzy. He's
Peter Pake.
popping up there. Peter Pake. So Peter Pake will be the guy that will run the show for the Seahawks here. It's a 2-0 game. Runner is on first base. What do we know about young Peter Pake? Normally a position player, but now starting to throw a bit more at Goodwood?
Yeah, look, both Peter and Brody, these 2 guys have grown up together, and both of them have come through the charter programs playing multiple positions. Then Peter found his way as an outfielder for Goodwood, but has been a pitcher through his junior time. And as we know, the importance of making sure guys can continue to pitch. You don't want to lose that. And he does have a very live arm and can throw, and really has impressed in his junior days. And then as he tried to break into Div 1 as a player, you can't do both, right? So he's got to spend his time as the outfielder. Now that he's established himself, now we can get him back into throwing some. So he gets in and throws some B grade, gets some innings there, and this is great for him
It's
in
really,
his development
definitely.
as well.
And that's probably what we need to see. Those pitches, you don't want to see them fall by the wayside because you don't know what they're going to turn into when they sort of mature and hit their early to mid-20s and become a more established pitcher. And if they're not getting the innings
That's
in a
right.
club ball, because you know you've got your Caps medalists on the mound throwing every week, one game a week. So it's those extra games that allow these guys to go, hey, the arm still works. I can throw strikes.
That's
I can throw
right.
half hard. Get some guys out.
And you know, as a pitcher, you love pitching, right? If you're a pitcher, that's okay. Yeah, you go and play position, but for a pitcher, there's nothing better than.
Brady Smith now at bat too, and we talked about the under-18 state team earlier, and Smoke. To your point, as this ball slips away, runner will advance to second. To your point, this also provides those under-18, under-16 players, well, under-18 mainly, those extra at-bats during the week at a higher level versus different competition rather than in their regular scheduled under-19 programs, rather than trying to break into games like you would, as you were saying, in Division I. This gives them another opportunity, too, to face some different pitchers and at-bats.
Well, definitely the 2, 3, 4 at-bats they're going to get in an evening against quality pitching on a Wednesday, come back out on a Sunday, face an import or the ace for a local club team in A-grade, as we're talking about. All the players playing A-grade from under-18s.
Brady Smith swings through the pitch, and he's down
only getting
strikes.
better for that opportunity.
Good fastball there, though.
And the one, it was a nice
Good
high heat
sequence
there
as well.
And the one thing with Brady is, he plays Div 1. He plays under-19s on Sundays.
Yeah.
He just wants to play more baseball. And he's a great kid. Just wish him all the best. And I think we're going to see a lot of him for a long time.
That's how you get better, right? Playing baseball.
Yeah,
you don't get better sitting on the sidelines.
Yep.
Back to the top of the lineup, Jack Partington. He's doubled already and scored in this game. Good to see Jack Partington. He's on the roster that was announced already for the Giants homestand this weekend, which I know he will be absolutely pumped up for, to get to officially play a Giants game at home in front of a home crowd. Giants only electing to go with 11 position players this weekend on the roster, which tells you that there's a chance that Pardo and guys like Liam Bull are going to get an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And why wouldn't you on a home turf here as well? They know the field, they know how it plays, they know what needs to be done.
13 pitchers and 11 position players on that roster.
Nothing's better than playing in front of that home crowd for the Giants. You've got everyone behind you, a good packed stand.
Well, Pardo's got, I know because I've seen the report, but Pardo's got like 18 people coming in the Burrito Bowl on Saturday night that are going to get around the Giants. And
Good stuff.
But that must be a special feeling for a South Australian to play in front of the home crowd. I talked to Jack O'Loughlin this week as Pardo will head to first base. I talked to Jack O'Loughlin, who's pitching an ABL game for the first time in 5 years, and he's got a story in the paper going tomorrow about his return. And he said he was a little bit, honestly, he didn't even know what to say. He was a little bit at loss for words because he said it just feels different. He's pitched for the last 4 or 5 years professionally overseas at home, but none of his friends and family have been there to watch him play. There's been COVID. He's been stuck overseas at times. It's been harder to get in and out. He says he can't even put into words. It just means a lot to him that he can go and he can know that his whole community, his baseball club, his family and friends are right there in his corner, and he can just enjoy the summer just having fun pitching in front of his family and friends.
Having fun trying to win games too out here with the Giants. But how good's that? Like, so he would have been 16 last time he was out here, 17 on the mound. Yeah, like you said, 5-6 years later, he's back out here, competing, trying to bring a Claxton Shield to South Australia in games that that matter. Not just getting your work in and fighting other guys for spots and moving up the organisation. These guys are trying to win games for the Giants.
Yeah, definitely.
He'll start on Sunday afternoon, Jack Partington, which will be fun to see. We'll see how he goes. But you'd think he should give them a chance to win.
Definitely. Big 6'5" lefty.
Yeah, definitely. And there's like you said, Smoke. There's an air of difference in when you're playing as a pro guy, playing here for the Giants. You're not fighting your way up the organisation. You're here to just play ball and enjoy the time. It's like, I'll move that guy over. I'll do whatever I can do to help the team win. It really has a different environment, and having local guys does bring people out to the game. And as you said, Eric, Pardo's going to bring some people, and I'm sure Jacko's going to bring. There's going to be locals that are going to come out and watch their locals.
And you get the sense that from talking with, and I know there's still some question marks up in the air, from being around Curtis Mead, you get sort of the same sense from him that he's, plays away all the time, and it'd be cool to play in front of the home fans. As there's a ball cracked again to shortstop, and Paparella makes the play, and that will retire the side. But yeah, you get the sense with guys like Curtis Meade as well. I mean, Curtis, he's got his hurt elbow. I get that, and he's flat out said, it's going to be up to the Rays. It's going to be how his rehab goes.
Yep.
He's just started swinging. But he said on Channel 7 he wants to play at home in front of the fans because this Adelaide community means a lot to him. It was the same with Riley Yateman when he got the start on the weekend, the Padres prospect. You're right, it means something different when you're an affiliated guy over here and you get to come back and showcase what you've done to your baseball community.
It definitely does, and hate to harp on it, but the old Nord Oval days when we only had 4 imports and there was a lot of local people and there was a lot of cousins and friends and teammates and club people just came to Nord Oval in droves, and the atmosphere was electric because there was a lot of people going to watch their local people play. And obviously it's a different landscape now, we know that. But the great thing is Pardo and Liam Bull and Jacko and Curtis and, the list goes on where those guys are getting that opportunity to do that in front of their
I think
family.
that one thing that's clear that, guys like Nathan Davison and Chris Adamson have made clear and kind of showed from their scouting is they're watching games like this in the Super League. They're watching Division I. And if you are good enough and you deserve to have a spot on that roster, you will get a spot. And I talked to Liam Bull after his great game on Friday night. Liam Bull came in there. He wasn't the starter at the start of the weekend. Nico Puaco-Grego gets hurt. He gets thrust into action playing third base. And on Friday night, he came in there and he hit a home run that ended up being the game-winning home run. And he made 3 really nice defensive plays at third. And talking to Liam Bull after, he said, I was happier with how my defense went because I was identified to me as something I needed to work on at the end of the exhibition season. And Liam Bull, to his credit, went there. He worked hard. He got the job done. They could trust him enough to say, yeah, we'll put you over at third base. He made those plays. He said he was happier with his defensive plays. But the point is, if you work hard, it's a small community. You're going to get noticed, right?
Yeah,
if you're doing
that's
something well, it's not like anyone's going to be saying who.
And you're right, Eric. Full credit to the Giants organisation because it creates a pathway for the Jack Bushell and Riley Yateman and Drew Davies and Liam Bull. They all know that if they work hard enough, they're going to get a spot out here. They're going to get a spot in that lineup. So it just creates that
You got to be good
level.
and you got to work hard. As Matt Hutchings is coming up to bat right now, the designated hitter over at Goodwood Baseball Club. And I love that culture that is kind of being created around the club that says no coincidences, right? You hear Tank say that all the time. And Curtis Meade isn't the number 2 ranked prospect from the Tampa Bay Rays just because he was on a good under 16 and under 18 state team in South Australia. He's on that team because he was out here at 6 a.m. every day of the week before going to year 12 working out with Tank in the hitting shed. And then, when he goes on that big hitting streak in the fall league, makes an error over at first base, and then on Twitter everything was circulating about how he showed up to the ballpark early to just take ground balls over at first base. That's not an accident.
No, that's right. And then him making the 40-man isn't an accident.
And Liam Bull playing on Friday night and hitting that home run and making some nice defensive plays, that's not an accident.
Well, we've talked about Liam Bull from the first year in Super League, and he's just progressed through all that as well. And now here he is playing ABL.
It's been really cool to see the journey of
It has,
all of
isn't
them.
it?
Yeah. Matt Hutchings up to bat right now. Still on the mound is Jared Large, another guy fighting for that spot at that top level. That ball, did that clank his head?
He didn't get too
His
far out
dome.
of the way, Matty.
Yeah, he didn't
Any
really.
which
He
way
just
you
kind of
can.
flinched. He just kind of flinched and let that come to him.
Outstanding work there. We need that. We need a runner on, and good of him to just take that.
Nick Paparella already made that great barehanded play over at shortstop. The young under 18 player, Southern District starter at shortstop. He's batting leadoff there. He's a lively talent too, Nick Paparella.
He is a lively talent. He can run. He's another guy that we talked about as a two-way guy through the juniors, can pitch. Okay, he's outstanding as a shortstop and or middle infielder, but he also is slippery as a pitcher.
And he's the guy you want to see getting those innings still, right? You don't want that to be forgotten about.
Yep.
Yes, his eventual position may be at shortstop, and he's, manning the shortstop for the Giants down the track, but you want to give those guys that opportunity on the mound if it's possible.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a big challenge for Nick. Like, he wouldn't see too many pitches thrown with this velo.
0-2 count to Jared Large on the mound.
Man, that's some cheese.
Yeah, we don't have TrackMan running today. I'd love to see what that is.
Love to see his pitch count burn up.
He's throwing the whole game, Scotty.
Paparella standing in there, swing and a miss, and that's a good pitch from Jared Large to get him down on strikes. So it's the first one down. He's looked good. He had that 1-2-3 first inning, and just the hit by pitch has been the problem, but that might be his pitch count for Jared Large.
Thank you.
And the GM of the Seahawks happy about that.
Very
Interesting to
so.
see. I mean, Jared Large obviously trying to make some adjustments to figure out to find a bit more consistency. I had a great chat with Tyler Mark. He's the pitching coach of the Giants. You can listen to that podcast chat, by the way. That's my shameless plug on AdelaideGiants.com.au/podcast.
It's a good podcast, Eric. You do a good job.
We had a great chat about pitching and progressions, and some of the things that I took away from that, and I'd love to hear you, Smokey, talk about this, is he was saying it's amazing because when he was 18 years old, he thought that just pitching was just a one-way thing. Like, you learn how there, you learn how to pitch, you learn how to throw there. But now he's learning that, like, he was working with a big leaguer in the offseason, and even the big leaguer was making adjustments, who had won 2 World Series championships, always tinkering with their game. Todd Van Steensel on Twitter, you saw him work with Sam Eads. He was unhappy with how his pitching performance went with Team Australia, throwing 93. He made a couple adjustments. He was throwing 95 on the weekend, Todd Van Steensel. I love that pitchers like Todd Van Steensel, who's been a professional for 13 years, is making an adjustment all the time. Like, he hasn't figured it out.
Well, you're going to talk to one of the most craftiest pitchers.
Well, that's what you got to
do, right?
Yeah.
Nibble,
yeah,
just
It
crafty.
changes all the time.
Well, that's I guess, yeah, if you're talking about myself, come back from college, mid-80s over the top, dime a dozen. That's just getting lit. So you sort of drop down to the side a little bit, get a bit of movement on it. You drop in the
two-way
but
running in,
you
busting
find a
on the
way
hands.
to, I get a point of difference on the mound, but you can always be learning and adjusting. And like, even now when I sit and I watch games, and then I go back to think about like my pitching career and stuff, I'm thinking, if only I'd have done, it's well after the fact, forward now, well past, but it's like, I probably should have done that more with my legs, or my arm path could have been better, or things like thinking back. Back there, you're always learning, and I have no doubt. And it's good to see these guys like Van Steensel, right, sort of mid-career where he's at right now, still making those adjustments, still below 95, and finding that extra thing that might,
Well, it's
might
just
give
like
him that bit more.
In terms of Australian baseball circles, if you're going back to the example of Todd Van Steensel, what does Todd Van Steensel have to prove anymore, right? Like, he's been an all-star in the minor leagues. He's played in Mexico and some AAA equivalent. He's been on Team Australia. He's pitched in World Baseball Classics. And as far as Aussie baseball has gone, he hasn't made the big leagues. I get that, but he's done everything except that. He's 32 years old. He doesn't need to prove anything more, but here he was pitching in Japan. He's like, I want to make an adjustment. He talks, he looks for help around him, he finds help around him, he makes the adjustment, and now he's pitching in a different, not style, but he's made that little adjustment. Pretty interesting follow. Sam Eads, by the way, on Twitter.
No, that's a great story there.
Runner is going. Sam Eads, another South Australian that was playing some college baseball over there, and he's still helping out a lot of the local arms that he's got relationships with, as Craig Batchelor fouls that away. Unbelievable story that is. He's going to go a long way, I think, in terms of helping pitchers harden their craft. Craig Batchelor up to bat, and he sends one straight to center field. Jack Partington makes the play, and there's 2 down. So, Smokey, you made some adjustments completely stylistically in the middle of your career.
Yeah, just one bullpen before going into a Claxon Shield game. I thought, you know what, let's just try
Are you
it from
serious?
down here a little bit. Yeah.
What? That short notice?
Yeah, definitely. Trying to crack my first Claxon Shield team. Yeah. I think I was a year back after college and getting back into pitching again. And every time I went out there over the top, they were just struggle outings. And thought I'd drop down to the side. And Haylock was coaching the team then and came in relief in the start of the second inning. I think I started, got lit up a little bit, and just dropped to the side and against Victoria in a game and threw 6 innings in relief and got through the rest of the game. So I was like, I might stick with this. So trying not to blow my elbow, and I didn't, and I was able to hang around and get a couple of Giants games under my belt, which was that goal and that we spoke about earlier. You grow up watching these guys play. You want to get out there, right? And
that's right.
And be there one day.
You played in the first game, I think.
Yeah. So that was.
It was Paul Mildren first start, Chris Lawson first close.
My peak right there. Yeah, relieving Millie. So, and we were polar opposite styles, and that's what Harris. I guess he went for in that year before that trial league of the The ABL, yeah. And we made the grand final, lost that grand final, and that was probably one of my better seasons. And in that grand final, I was relieving Mildren as well. And, yeah, backed it up the next year. And just
Brody
from that...
Heaps up the middle. Koki Yonezawa flips to 2, ends the inning. So we've played 2. Seahawks lead or trail 2-0. Rays trying to punch their ticket to the grand final in their only game today. We'll be back.
Here at Just the Thing Furniture, we offer quality, factory direct furniture at wholesale prices. From wall clocks, prints and lamps to couches, beds, rugs and outdoor furniture. We make furniture affordable, where you save up to 80% on retail, offering you the finest furniture at discount prices. When you buy from us, you won't wait months for your new furniture. Everything you see is ready for immediate delivery, and mention Super League Baseball and we'll deliver it for free. We pride ourselves on customer service, and our team works tirelessly to offer our customers on-trend furniture at heavily discounted prices. Visit our huge warehouse in Beverley, open 7 days a week, or jump online to check out our latest deals at www.justthethingfurniture.com.
Well, back at the ballpark, the Joker card has been played. If you're unfamiliar with Super League rules, you can play a Joker card at any time before the inning starts. You have 1 to use throughout the game, and when you play it, runners start on first, runners start on second. It's come with a pitching change. The left-handed Andrew Chesterton is throwing. And the Rays looking to capitalize. They've got the middle of their lineup with Garbella, Yonezawa, and Clavel due up. Well, I guess they're not due up because a triple play theoretically could happen right now. However, you have your RBI machine in Giovanni Garbella. We've already played 40 minutes of this 90-minute game. This feels like the right time with a pitching change, middle of the lineup for the Rays to use this.
Definitely, and the 2 guys on base are burners in Pardo and Tracy.
That's true.
That's right. Perfect time.
And they've already scored today. Those are their 2 runs that they've scored in the first inning with 3 straight doubles. So Garbella, just an RBI machine right now. One of the leaders in the Super League in RBIs from New York. The import over at Henley and Grange. They look like a well-oiled machine over at Henley right now. How's Landon Hernandez pitching the perfect 5-inning game?
How is that?
The other day. Doesn't go down as a no-hitter or a perfect game because it was only 5 innings, but still going perfect. 15 up, 15 down through 5 innings is
outstanding. Outstanding as a former catcher turned into pitcher.
Reinvented himself on the mound.
You literally could not do better, so we'll give him credit.
That's right.
It's pretty cool to see that. Landon and JBR, those converted catches to pitchers, competing neck and neck for the Caps every year.
Runners are going, trying the double steal, and they're trying to test the arm of Heaps. The ball slips away. Andrew Scott, he's been known to be aggressive on the base pass before. We've seen that in any competition he coaches. I love that he went for the double steal right there. That's a cool play.
Why not? We said it before, right? 2 burners on the base paths. Get out of that triple play scenario, Eric.
Forces a mistake, and they score a run. And they didn't hesitate.
No.
As Garbella up to bat. So would that be a chat that would happen in the dugout? Like Scotty would have just walked in and said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the Joker card. You're going to double steal right away. Garbella, don't swing. Like, is that like
There's every
100%.
chance. Yeah.
Well, okay, you get 1 out. You still got a runner at second.
Ball slips away, and now it's a runner at third.
And you're challenging Brody Heaps behind the dish. And you got, Chesterton pitching, which at that point, do you spaghetti? Hold the runner back. Just check the runner.
It's the old bunt D play, right?
You gotta be looking at something,
the first
right?
thing, we drill it in trainings back in the day was you do it. See what they do. See if the batter's going to come around to bunt. See if you get him getting that extra hop off on second base.
Hard hit ball. Garbella going back to make the play is Ashby at the wall. Defense, and it's gone. The double steal didn't even matter because Giovanni Garbella, the RBI machine, has added another one to his tally, and it's 5-0.
Cost him a ribby, those steals.
It did. He is coming through clutch in these moments. And that, it's not, the door shut on it, but that makes life very difficult for the Seahawks in a timed game.
He's doing everything. I do it. You do it.
They've got a joker card up their sleeve. Anything's possible. But Garbella, he goes awry in the 3-4 games we've seen out here of him.
A double and a home run. Koki Yanazawa now up to bat, by the way. A double and a home run. Koki Yanazawa, he lined out to second, and it helped double up the play back in the first. That kind of thwarted an inning that could have been worse, to be honest, from a Seahawk perspective, with 3 straight doubles to start the game.
So all you can do, right, is square it up in the batter's box. That's your aim, is to square the ball up. Unfortunately, last time he picked out the second baseman.
This time he nailed it. More than squared it up.
So a double and a dinger from Giovanni Garbella. He's accounted for 3 of the RBIs. It could have been 4, but still wouldn't have changed the score. It would have been 5-0. You can thank Jack Partington for that. His teammate over at Henley and Grange Rams. It's a good start. Fellas, in the weekend when I was in Geelong, I was so close. I've never seen a cycle live before.
Right.
I was so close to seeing one. There was the guy had, from John Korea, 2 doubles. He had a single and a triple. 2 doubles, single, and a triple. Walking up for his final at-bat in the 9th inning, Jordan McCardle pitching with 40-kilometer-hour winds blowing out to right field, and this guy's a lefty. And he crunched the ball, and it literally hit the top of the wall and bounced back.
Oh, no.
At that point, I was calling the game. There was about 12 Koreans around me that were sheltering from the rain, and they were going crazy off the crack of the bat, and then they just let out a hilarious cackle. Like, as soon as that happened, they were just laughing at their teammate that was, like, that close. So it goes down as 3 doubles, a single, and a triple, and he had 6 RBIs in the game. So it was a good day.
Okay, day, yeah.
But I wanted the cycle.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Also had 2 chances. This flared out towards center field. Should be playable for Drew Davies, and it is, with the runner still at first. Also had 2 chances to see the home run record for a single game in the ABL. 2 different players were sitting on 3 home runs by the 6th inning. Jasper Clark up to bat. Runner on first and 1 out.
What was your take on the series, Eric?
It's interesting. It was Jekyll and Hyde almost when it comes to pitching, because on the Friday night, as Clark will get ready to receive one from Chesterton, runner staying put. On the Friday night, I love a good low-scoring game. Like, I love it.
Yep.
I love it when the strategy
battle
comes in about what arm do you go to when, how do you throw the pen, how do you mix it up, what's the sequence of pitchers you go to, how does that work out? We just lose audio.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I've lost you, Eric. I don't know if anyone else has got you.
We'll keep going anyways. I love I love that nature of the game. It was a 2-1 game, 13 strikeouts, 3 hits. That was it was a fun game to watch. So that one you feel really good about. But then Sunday it just didn't go well. Obviously, you allowed 24 hits, 23 runs. That game doesn't work too well for you. You're not going to win a lot of ball games when you allow 23 hits. You're going to win a lot when you score 11 runs. Unfortunately, the Giants lost by 12. So I guess it's just trying to get a bit more to those starters, isn't it?
Yep.
Runner is going. He throws one over there. So that's what I'm looking for from the Giants this weekend, is how do they get a bit more out of their starters? If you can just get, one more inning from Cienfuegos on Thursday, which he's done well. There's nothing against him.
Yep.
One more inning out of Wilco. One more inning out of the Fowler and Castillo piggyback. And if Jack O'Loughlin can provide 3 or 4 innings in that opening role on Sunday versus the 1 inning that Jordy Gross had on the Sunday, then all of a sudden it's 8-9 innings, saves the bullpen a little bit, and it shortens games.
Well, it's always the key for the opposition team is to get to the bullpen as soon as possible.
Right.
Right, and that's the whole plan.
Hard hit. Ball leaping up is Paparella. It was almost another nice play. And runner will be held up as third. So runners on the corners. And now another import will have an opportunity in Jansen to really blow this game out.
Now, we were talking about base running earlier. That was a good example of doing it properly. Koki there.
Yeah.
Freeze on the line drive, step back to the bag, make sure you're within distance should they try to W up.
Because he's not going home on that. That ball was smoked, right? So he's not. There's no way he's going to be scoring on that anyway.
Well, worst case scenario is getting doubled up, right?
Yeah,
so even if you only get to third, it's okay.
This is where a pick-off needs to happen right here. Just need to keep an eye on this running game that the Rays are doing. There's no doubt Scotty be looking for more opportunities to get runners at second and third.
And we know Jasper can run too.
He definitely can.
So let's see what Jansen can do. And he grounds one over to Paparella. Good sliding stop. He gets one. The throw slipped away, so he didn't even get one. And runners will advance to second and third. A runner will score. And on an error, another run comes in. It could have been an inning double play. Instead, it's 2 runners in scoring position. 4 runs in the inning are now on the board. It's 6-0, and the Rays, barring a crazy comeback, are in the driver's seat to punch their ticket to the grand final next month.
Yeah, they are, and did great to get that play on the backhand. You know, it came hard. Just get that out. Get that one out was important right there. That's trouble.
Awkward one, and finally caught. Runner will not tag. Did he drop the ball? Runner at first is asking the question. He did. So the bases are loaded.
Now let's see.
Here's
here.
a look at the replay. He caught the ball, but he dropped it on the transfer.
Yeah, that's right.
So it should be an out, right?
Yep.
Are we going to have a challenge? Bring me a challenge. Mark Haylock's having the question. So what's the verdict on this here, boys? He looks like he caught the ball, dropped it on the transfer. What's the ruling?
He's out.
I don't know if you can challenge this, though.
No,
Is
you
this
can't.
judgment? It's judgment, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the replay it shows, let's see if we get the replay again. Caught the ball clearly. Here it is. This is Zach Altamura. Ball in hand, brings the ball into the chest.
And then
He
slipped.
dropped it. He slipped on it when he was grabbing the ball from his glove. That was a catch. That should be an out. Can we signal to the umpires from down there to help him out, to get the right call? Send the screenshot of that to Angie in the dugout.
Stop it, Eric.
We can't, like you said, he can't challenge it.
Called safe. And they can't believe it over in the Seahawks dugout. So bases are loaded for Brady Smith.
It's hard to override that from home plate as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't see it from out there, right? All you'd see is kind of what it's almost similar to our perspective.
But we've got,
we have a
we've got
monitor,
hindsight. Yeah, we watched it 6 times.
But we thought it was
But off the bat,
I mean, Jacob Scott going to first looked a bit bewildered as well, being like, is it? Whatever, I'm just going to go to first and hope for the best sort of thing. Or, yeah, well, here we are. So Brady Smith with 1 out. They used the Joker card this inning. A Garbella home run. Koki Yanazawa helped bring in 1 on an error, and it is bases loaded, 1 out. And this ball crunched towards center field. Davies will make the play on it. The runner, Jasper Clark, will tag at home.
Whoa.
It will not be an issue.
fair
He's got a
throw.
hose out there.
Yeah.
He's another guy that can pitch as well.
He has a hose.
Yes. Originally started as a third baseman in the early days.
Yeah.
Through coaching him at Seahawks and could throw. And
He's a
throws
slick.
very
He's
well.
just a slick-looking baseball player.
Mate,
Like,
he's
cool.
smooth.
Yeah.
He's a cool cat, and he's a great kid too.
Yeah,
And on the
Just-
under-18
just
national team.
Under 18 national team, and he's 16, not 15.
Turns 17 next week, I think.
That's right.
Jack Partington up to bat. His first pitch swing, and Pardo has another RBI. He's got a double. He's got a walk. He scored while being in this inning, while being one of the Joker card players. And Jack Partington is putting together a really nice week. Homered in the ABL. He's driven in another run, and now it is a big old score in this inning. 6 on the board. And it is blown out.
Yep, certainly has.
Hard hit ball over to left field. Should be playable in left field. Ashby moves under it, and he makes the play. So that will end the inning. And a few runs put on the board. So it is a 6 spot and an 8-0 lead as we head to the middle of the 3rd. And now only about half an hour for the Seahawks to really try to chase down this lead. They haven't had a hit in this game. So one team has 8 runs, the other team doesn't have a hit. That's not ideal, I don't think.
No, it's not ideal, and there's been some quality pitching, and so hats off to the Rays with their pitching, and it's been challenging. And now we're at 8 and 9, McLeod and Altamira coming up to bat. So it's a challenging time of when do you play the joker card? What do you do? Do you just put it in your pocket? Makes it hard for you to do when you don't have the ammunition at this point in time to go that way. You just got to try and grin and bear it and see what you can do from here.
And is that what you do? Is that what Haylock's doing right now? Are we putting it in the back pocket? Because do you save bullets? Do you keep throwing bullets out there? Do you see how the game unfolds on offense? Because obviously the bats are going to...
He's held back on pitching. There is Fitzy hasn't pitched, Jack Bushell hasn't pitched, so there's a few guys that he's held back on, obviously, for pitching. So, obviously that's to try and get ready for game 2.
It's tough as well when you're going against a guy like Jordy Gross, who's on the mound right now, who has been one of the best pitchers in the South Australian baseball competition for a few years.
Yeah, that's right.
And a guy who's fresh too, right? Like he's the last 2 weekends, probably an inning each weekend. He's not.
Yeah, he's only thrown
he's
2 innings last 2. Yeah, exactly.
He's not coming off a 7-inning outing on the weekend.
No, he's hot to go. And this is great for him.
100%.
Works perfect.
Okay, so bullpen in. He's probably throwing a side or something today anyways, if he wasn't playing tonight.
But why not heat up and test yourself, right?
Kerry McLeod up to bat. Yeah, may as well do it live, right? Well, instead of throwing live BP in practice, he's throwing...
Exactly, live BP. After Christmas, a lot of club teams are probably doing that. The guys that don't get their work in start throwing live BP.
Kerry McLeod up to bat, Southern Districts player. Called strike, 1-1 count. So with the time, there's probably 6 outs that the Seahawks have up their sleeves to try to chase down this run. They still have the Joker card in hand. Need to start scoring some runs, though.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Is if it's 3 up, 3 down here, and you get back to Ashby, you got to roll it out and have a crack. But being in mind of that, you got to save your pitches for game 2, right? So there's no point running out a Fitzy in this game right here. He needs to be sitting back and getting ready for game 2.
The only base runner of the day came by a hit by pitch for Matt Hutchings. Zach Altamira comes up. We're here in the 3rd inning, and we've started to go through. I mean, Jack Partington has been on base now 4 times during the game today as the leadoff man. I know a Joker card was played once. We're not even 1 time through the lineup for the Seahawks. That kind of sums up how the game's going.
Yeah, that's baseball, right?
All it can take is just a couple hits to string them together. If they can get 2 or 3 here, put some doubt in the Rays staff. Rays with a win will all but secure a spot in the grand final. I think it will be mathematically impossible for them to miss, in fact. We could have a tie at 4 points for everybody, but the Rays would have 2 wins and everybody else would only have 1. So a win for the Rays puts them through. That's simple. Swing and a miss.
Two balls, 1 strike. Get him, Zachy, here we go, mate.
Altamira swing and a miss. It brings the count to 2-2 on Jordy Gross.
Good location there too. That's a tough pitch to hit.
Yeah, he's throwing well.
Down and away on the black. Hitters count.
Bushell following him.
That's the thing Jordy does so well, is he locates.
On a beautiful night down here at West Beach. We've had some
Cracking.
shockers this season.
Well, it's been
This is
an
how it's
interesting
meant to be.
season, isn't it? Like, shortened season.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, club ball games also have been affected dramatically over in Clubland to try to reschedule some games, get them in on the Tuesday night, the mid-twilight games.
I've been involved with baseball for a number of decades.
Now.
A couple years, yeah.
This would be the worst summer I have ever seen.
And
The
we're
worst.
only a month into it.
Worst
It's-
baseball season. It's not even summer yet.
Yeah.
It's the worst baseball season I've ever seen affected by weather like this.
Jack Bushel takes a pitch for a strike.
And it is what it is. You know, you just
Roll with it, don't you?
got to go with
Yeah.
it.
Well, the forecast's looking pretty good this week, though, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's looking nice. Thursday, Friday.
Friday's looking great.
For 2 of the days, we'll take that. Bushel to left field. It's going to the wall. It was gone, but it's also foul. Yeah, 22 on Thursday, 29 with a low of 22 overnight on Friday.
That's
Oh
a
my
cracking
goodness!
night.
You know where you got to be on Friday night?
Yeah.
There's one place to be on Friday night in South Australia with that kind of weather. That's going to be a ripper down at the ballpark. 25 and maybe raining, but lower than 50% chance on Saturday afternoon. 18 degrees and sunny on Sunday afternoon. That'll be okay for some junior baseball. Not too hot.
Be fantastic.
So the juniors who have been the victim of a couple poor Sundays as well, at least they're going to have a sunny day but a cool day. They'll take that, won't they?
Mate, I will love not having to be at the field at 7:30 mopping water up left, right, and centre.
How's
And
Jordy Gross, by the way? Comes in here, strikes out the side.
Outstanding.
Point to prove. Good work.
10 batters have come to the plate for the Rays so far in this game. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, or for the Rays rather, batting 3 straight doubles to start the game, scored 2 runs, and then they scored 6 in the next inning, or 6 in the last inning, and it is an 8-0 game. We'll take a quick break and be back with the final round of Super League.
Citadel IT has been built on the foundations of trust and reliability. We have experience in all aspects of IT, including cloud computing, security, networking, and more. If you are looking for an experienced team that will give you an honest answer about your business needs, then contact Citadel IT today.
Michael Slee now on the mound from Southern Districts for the Seahawks, trying to keep this game as much in check as he can. It's already an 8-run lead. We're already starting to be pushed up against the clock, probably about 30 minutes to go in this ball game. So opportunities will be few and far between for the Seahawks to get back in the game. The Rays, it's been a nice day for them. Everybody's got on base at some point today. Giovanni Garbello, he's got a double and a home run, and he's up to bat right now. A dangerous one in the lineup.
Pretty good recruit for Henley and Grange right there, I think, from what we've seen, and his start to the season. That's hats off to Hardy for this guy, and he can throw it a little on the bump too.
Can he?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's handy.
That's a team with Wilson Lee coming back into it as well.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah, they've got a handy cushion with Wilson Lee as well. And it's a dogfight right now in club ball, isn't it?
Yeah, what is there, about 5, 6 that are all...
But from 3 to 11, 12, it seems tight.
Yep.
Like Kensington, for a while there, were sitting down at 12th with just the 3 points, but they had leads going into the 9th inning of 3 games that they ended up losing. So if that's your second from the bottom team that has had 9th inning leads...
Yeah, crazy. Which is what they've all been about, is trying to make the games tighter and reduce the blowouts.
Which has happened. I mean,
Yeah.
Northern Districts, man, they are knocking on the door.
they're in games this year.
Oh,
aren't they?
my
It's-
goodness. They've had 3 or 4 heartbreakers where
I
they've
don't
had
know,
lead leads.
if you game changer watch them, I do it.
Yeah.
Like watching their games on Game Change. You see them going to that last with the lead,
5-2
and
up, and they...
Yeah.
This weekend, oh man, if you need to go to any ballpark this weekend on Saturday afternoon, I would head down to Northern Districts for the first ever Marshall
Yes.
Cup between Port Adelaide and Northern Districts, and Norths are banging on the door for their first win. And I'm actually, I mean, I don't really have any dog in the fight in terms of club ball. I like Port Adelaide. I mean, no disrespect for them. I would love to see Northern Districts at home with Todd Marshall pitching in the Scott Marshall Cup.
Getting the win
For their first win in over, 2 years now?
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would just be a great feel-good story for a club that needs a feel-good story. And to be honest, this is probably their grand final.
Yeah, it definitely is. No doubt it'll be packed out there.
Oh.
And atmosphere will be electric, and good to acknowledge Scotty Marshall. What a legend.
And I mean, Port want to win that game too, and if Port win, I'll feel happy for them. Like,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
everybody wants to be the first name on that
That's
Scott
right.
Marshall shield, and you probably see that. I mean, you see that with Glen Elgin South, right, in the Horrocks Cup. How big are those games down in those clubs,
you
right?
don't want to lose that game. You
No.
don't want to lose that game. You're right. We held on to it for a long time down there at Glenelg, I think, and South. Maybe last year or the year before, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they jagged one and they were over the moon, and they came every year at us as well for it.
Fly ball over, Ween waved off. Nick Paparello will make the play.
Hey, go on,
down. Yeah, I've been down. Was a couple years ago. I think Chris Burkholder was starting the game, and there was just some wild swings of momentum that Glenelg ended up like walking off Southern Districts with a walk-off home run.
I think
to win
Clavel did that, didn't he? Yeah.
And you could see the emotion of how much it meant to the Glenelg players, and just the disappointment from Souths knowing that they had it and they let it slip away in a game that, like, I love those games.
And like with the Horrocks family, like they've moved up to Queensland now, but they fly back for this game. Like,
Yeah,
that's
right.
how much it
Awesome.
means to them. And yeah, they're around it, and they've been in the change rooms with us after those games, especially those first few years when that emotion is sort of there, and just sort of seeing how we were able to celebrate Blake's life in those games as well.
Al hard hit ball over to third. It's a nice play by Bushell, who dove. No, it's
we've got
got
to
to
change
change. It wasn't Bushell. It's a nice play. I think that's Ashby.
Yeah.
Ashby at third dove down and made a really nice stop. That stopped the runner progressing as well. Ashby at third, bang.
Yeah, just jump back to Scotty Marshall. What an athlete he was. Like, I had the pleasure of playing with him and playing against him, and great to play with. Like, just a bulldog on the field, and just gave it everything on the field. But a complete player, could hit, could field. I remember when we were away with the Giants, and he was down as a pitcher, and guys weren't hitting, and he's like, turns to Feathers and goes, "Feathers, I'm over this pitch, and I can do better than all these guys in the field, and I can hit."
That's great.
He's like, "Come on, let's be competitive here. Let me have a crack." And that was just Scotty Marshall all over. He just wanted to compete every time.
How badly did Glenelg want to win that first Blake Horrocks Cup?
Yeah.
Bad?
Yeah, I was coaching that year. That was my first year coaching.
Was that a
actually.
game you circle,
Yeah.
being like, I don't care what's before, what's
You are
after?
throwing
We're
everything
yeah.
down the kitchen sink at South that day.
You're kind of planning your pitching, even if on paper you should win the game or whatever. You're
the
just
games,
like,
you're right. And the games we had against South, and we always have them against South. It didn't matter. We could be top, they could be bottom, could be switched, whatever it was. They'd always be good games. They'd always be close games. They'd come down to the wire sort of games. They were ripper games. And that was a big game. And yeah, it was an emotional game for everyone there too.
so Norths and Port Adelaide this afternoon, or on Saturday afternoon. If I could, I would have loved to get down there. I would have loved to stream that game. That would have been awesome. It didn't quite line up with the schedule. But I'm curious, I guess if you're watching the game and right now and you want to put in the chat, what's the most emotional baseball game that you've been part of in terms of just pride and honor and everything put on the line? I'd be curious to know. Put that in the chat. What about you, Pratty? What's the most heartfelt or that kind of emotion in a game that you've been part of?
One of the biggest was grand final that we won against Henley and Grange, 43 years. Drought breaker. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Extra innings. And,
Could feel a bit on the line.
Yep.
I love the way that stuff kind of happens. Sport has a funny way of working itself out. I know there was a big game in the ice hockey community, which people know. If you know me, I'm involved in it as well. But one year we had a young player. He's the captain of the junior team, the Adelaide Generals, Kyle Clark. He passed away in a car accident that a truck kind of went off on the wrong side of the road, and it was super tragic. He passed away. He was just 20 years old at the time. He was the captain of the junior team. And then the following, a couple months later, it was his birthday. There happened to be a hockey game playing. His former, his teammates and stuff were playing in the game on that. He wore number 5, and the game was on May 5th, which was his birthday.
Wow.
And on May 5th, 5 minutes into the game, as there's a rip out to center field, that might score a run, and it's going to score a run. So it makes it a 9-0 game. But 5 minutes into the game, number 5 on the team went down and scored on May 5th for number 5, Kyle Clark. And it was just like, what? You couldn't make this stuff up. And a shout out to the Generals. I know players that are kind of a crossover there. The Generals just played their first game since Kyle Clark passed away, and they just won the Junior National Championship in his honor on Sunday afternoon. So congratulations to any of those listening. So I'm curious to hear about other people's heartfelt experiences in sport and the way that magic kind of works out. Sport's a funny thing, doesn't it? Like, there's just... In a first pitch swing, Jacob Scott goes up the middle. This is going to crack another one in and push it to a 10-0 lead. How about the year that D. Gordon... Remember when Fernandez...
Yes.
He passed away in the boating accident, and then D. Gordon, who was his best friend and had never hit a home run the entire season, walked in as the leadoff batter, and he sent one to right field and just pointed straight up.
And just the tears, he couldn't see running around the bases, could he? It was just that emotion.
The dude doesn't hit home runs. How on earth did he hit a home run? I love that stuff. I remember when I was at a Blue Jay game, John McDonald. It's Brady Smith now up to bat. His father had passed away 2 days earlier, and it was on Father's Day, this Sunday afternoon, Father's Day game. Everyone thought that John McDonald wouldn't be playing in the game, and not only does he play that game, he hits his first home run of the season and goes 3 for... I think he had 2 home runs that game. Like, it was ridiculous. Another run's going to score on a base hit from Brady Smith.
Well,
and it's now an 11-0 game.
I should say the other week was a pretty good experience, getting out there and having a game with Cooper.
With Cooper, after everything Cooper went through,
that was pretty
and everything the Pratt family goes through, having you and Cooper out there on the field would have been unbelievable.
Yeah, good time.
That would have been a heartfelt game as well on the field. I'm sure a lot of emotion for everybody in that lineup.
Yeah, we had a good day out. It's a good opportunity to do, and you can see there's a lot of families that are getting that opportunity to do, which is great to see. And that's the great thing about baseball, isn't it? You get to spend some time, you can play a bit longer, and you can, mind you, I'm not playing that much, but you get that opportunity to get back out there and do that. I see a few of them going around, families playing together.
4th time up for Jack Partington today. He is 2 for 2 with a walk and a single and a double. He's also scored when he was the Joker card in a game that is pretty much over. He's going to roll over one over at third. Ashby's made a couple nice defensive plays this inning. Gets it to his teammate in Craig Batchelor.
I got to win a Winnable Grand Final with my dad.
Did you?
The Winnable game.
That would be
cool.
cool.
Together. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that's hard to do, to have everything lined up so you're in the lineup at the same time, right place, right level, everything happening the same shifts. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. The Rays are up 11-0. They're going to win this game. I'm going to go ahead and say it, which would put the Rays in the grand final on December 21st. They'll look to retool and have that full lineup out there, and it's setting up right now. If this goes on there, it's going to be a Seahawks and Marlins game to decide who's going to go into the grand final.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like Seahawks aren't going to leave that Joker card sitting there. They're going to give it a crack, see how it goes.
Their
see what
second
happens.
base runners of the day. New pitcher as well on the mound.
Yep. This
I think there is a 10-run mercy rule, I think, but because it's the bottom of the inning, it doesn't really matter. They still got a chance to score and respond here in the bottom of the 4th.
That's right. Callahan, is this Callahan?
Yeah, Nick Callahan out on the mound.
Yep.
So Rays had some good pitching lined up for today. It started with Jared Large. Threw it over to Jordy Gross, who just struck out the side in the 3rd inning, and now Nick Callahan over at Adelaide Angels will try to close things out. What do you got for us, Smokey?
Oh, Scotty had 3 imports out there, so I just had to do a call down to the dugout.
Good spotting.
Yeah. It was.
You're going to the grand final, mate. You gotta be
I let
careful.
it go at the last.
Glad you picked that up.
Was
Angus
it
was all over it.
So yeah, the ruling is 2 imports on the field at any one time. So we've brought a pitcher in who's an import, and we still had our shortstop and our first baseman as imports.
Who's that on the
out
mound
there.
now?
Philippe Kapka.
Philippe Kapka on the mound.
Okay.
From Glen Elg.
Right.
The Czech national
I would have
team
told you that
pitcher.
if I wasn't.
Yeah, well, we thought it was
there on the
Callahan
phone,
for a
so-
minute.
Kind of looks like I'm from up here.
It does, doesn't it? With the high socks up.
He looks like Jay Zersh, Praddy.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Look at that.
I got done, roll it up. Louis, either way.
Says Peter Pay cabinet.
No, I reckon.
Right.
Is it Alex Ashby? Oh, Alex Ashby
Yep.
is up to bat. Yep, Ashby up to bat. Altamura at second, and Bushel over at first. So it's a 2-3-4 hitters. Ashby, Davies, and Hutchings. If there was a time to put up 11 runs in an inning for the Seahawks, this would be the time.
Certainly is.
I'd love to see it. I'm not expecting it. Swing and a miss. He was swinging for it there to try to pad some stats, Alex Ashby. He's hit a few home runs in clubland this year. You can hear the chats.
I'm
when
loving
they'll
that
play,
mic.
yeah.
Hopefully they can hear that at home.
As the sun's setting here at West Beach. This is the first of 2 games being played today. This game just 90 minutes long. We started at 6:05. It is currently 7:20. It's 11-run lead. I have a feeling they might just call it after this game, after this inning.
That's some velo right there, Smokey.
It sounds firm as well, doesn't it? It's slapping
yeah,
that mitt.
Yeah.
He's that mid to high 80s, heavy. That
Yep.
heavy, that Becker sort of fastball.
Yep.
You know, that bowling
he's
ball
heavy.
that gets on you.
Yep.
Ball up high, so it's a walk. So the bases are loaded. The door slowly opening for a Seahawks comeback.
Catches with chats. Remember Cole sitting behind us. Remember Brooksy from East Torrens. He loved the chat, didn't he, Cole?
Gio.
I wasn't bad on it either.
When you're catching behind the dish, just
Oh,
chatting with folks.
all the time.
What do you say? What do you
Just,
do?
What's going on? Look out.
Be a pest.
Nick-
What have you been up to?
Interested.
Didn't see you at Lenny's the other week. What are you doing? You off the drink?
Get back on.
Come on now. Oh, hang on. Here comes a fastball. Oh, no, I wasn't. Sorry.
Nick Paparella up to bat. We got you back down there, Pratty. Guest appearance.
I'll head into the Burrito Bowl on Saturday night.
Swing and a miss with all the Partington family going absolutely nuts out in the.
Get the microphone and
Oh,
the
my
roving
goodness.
mic. Imagine that.
Oh, the Partington family's going to have a riot up there.
Yeah.
My goodness. So let's see if Paparella, who's made a nice
Davies.
or Davies rather, sorry. I'm getting all mixed up here. Drew
You're right.
Davies, if he can get the great defensive play that kind of saved the Seahawks a game back in the round 1 or 2 of the Super League, that highlight reel catch in center field. He's got some talent, Drew Davies. And Davies up the middle. Kapka knocks it down. He'll turn. He'll try to get the runner at second. It was good backup as the throw sailed wide. So the first run is on the board. Can't beat an 11-run lead with one swing at the bat, but at least it's...
Jeez, he hit that hard, didn't he?
Did he just crunch on the microphone? I heard step, 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 and the microphone just disappeared. Did the umpire just kill that microphone?
I think he might have.
Oh, it's struggling. It's trying to come back.
So there is a microphone in the dirt down there, is there?
Yeah.
There must be. It's now gone though. They've crushed our microphone. Spacequake Sports, I'm sure, will be very happy about that.
I think it's at the back of the cutout. And Hutchie walked across it, I think.
Oh no. Dave Muggleton, shield your eyes. Matt Hutchings. Oh, I missed that mic. It was sounding good.
It was good. Gave us something.
Producer Brandon, get back down there. Paparella and Bachelor due up. That was just the first hit of the night, by the way. Earlier this inning, it's just swing and a miss, and down he goes. Probably just making sure that we get your run on the scoreboard here, or what?
You just erased it.
Just erased it all. We'll leave it at that. We'll keep it as 1-0 on the board.
I thought you got to put something up there for the Rays as well.
No scoreboard today. The Rays have broken. It's an 11-1 lead. Now we've got Nick Paparella. Bases still loaded. A swing of the bat makes it a little bit interesting.
And it's a challenge here for Drew Davies, Nick Paparella, even Hutchie. Like you're seeing some tough pitching here that you haven't seen much of before. You got to come out here and take these guys on. These guys have got some serious velo that really challenges hitters, which is great experience for them.
And that's what you want these kids seeing, this velo as well, because that's what they're going to see as they move up the levels.
That's right.
Swing and a miss.
Good hack.
On it now, here we go.
Wasn't going to go down wondering. Getting a good West Beach sunset tonight, by the way, I think.
Yeah, should be a cracker tonight.
Swings errantly at that, and it's the second strikeout. The last 5 outs now have been via the strikeout. Jordy Gross struck out the side in the third. And Kapka, who came in with the Joker card being played. Yes, the bases are loaded. Yes, he's allowed to run, but he's got 2 straight strikeouts. And Craig Batchelor represents what I think should be the final out for the Seahawks. And then the Seahawks and Marlins will play a game to the death following this one. Anytime you have the chance to eliminate Michael Dunn at anything, it has to be a day you get up for, Pratty.
Let's not talk about it when he gets here. But I can't wait for this moment.
Yeah, don't tell Dunn. Smokey, you'll get to relax. You get to go and have one of the beers from the canteen down here, and you get to plot the grand final that's a month away.
That's right. plenty of
You can
time
start
to
game planning.
Start recruiting. Start recruiting your players. I'll tell you what, Smokey, you come with this lineup, you're going to be hard to beat, no matter who it is, which team. That's a serious lineup that you produced tonight.
They've came to play though. Good energy in the dugout. Got up for it.
Yep.
Rays got to the grand final last year after finishing top in the minor rounds. They won't finish top in the minor rounds this year because there'll probably be a winner between the Seahawks and the Marlins, and then they'll jump them on wins and points. Unless there's a draw, in which case you'll still be top. So the Rays, that's the only way you can finish top, is a draw the next game. Either way, you're safe.
Took the one out to get, but yeah. I presume.
But yeah, okay. You're right. Let's see what happens.
We might go to the 5th here.
You're in the big dance, Smokey. You're in there.
11-1, you're in there. I'm already leaving that cart there, driving it down Rainbow Road. Swing and a miss, and we'll see what the umpire does. Will they call the time of game? Yeah. Yes.
Not shaking hands.
No, not?
It looks like it.
Yeah. I think that's going to do it for the ball game. They are. They're starting to celebrate. So an 11-1 win, emphatic by the Rays, powered mainly by that 6-run third inning. And the Rays are going to the grand final. And we basically have, coming up in about 20 minutes' time, we have a preliminary final. The winner of the Seahawks and the Marlins will go to the grand final. Will we have a rematch of last year between the Rays and the Marlins? Or will we see the Seahawks get to the grand final and send Michael Dunn's team to a place that Michael Dunn is very unfamiliar with in a grand final, is watching from the sidelines? That's what's on the line. History could be on the line this afternoon. Pratty, how you feeling about that game?
Yeah, look, it's going to challenge us. Certainly going to challenge us, there's no doubt about it, playing the doubleheader. Not going to make excuses. It is what it is. Control the controllables and move on and get ready for it.
Smokey, grand final bound.
Yes, we are. They came to play today. They played really, really well. Top to bottom, once and on, they all contributed. And who we got for best on ground?
Finished the season with a +4 run differential, 4 points in this shortened season. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. Game 2, it's the preliminary final. We're just going to call it that. We'll see you then.